Ready?
I'm ready.
Three, three, two, one. What's going on? Welcome back to another live episode of Coach D's Corner. This ain't a live episode, though. I got to do that all over again. All right. All right. Welcome back, y'all. This is another episode of Coach D's Corner. Listen, we trying it all. We doing StreamYard. We doing all different types of setups. We doing lives. Just trying to see what works best. And this is a part of that process. So, Coach, how you feeling, man?
I'm feeling great, man. I'm excited. I always get to talk about football and get inside the mind of the players and we let the fans know what these players be thinking and how tough it is to play at this level. So I'm excited to talk about it.
No doubt, no doubt. We're going to try to get to 3 plays, right? We're going to try to get to 3 today?
Yeah, we're gonna try.
Okay. try is the key word, right? So this game was really, really interesting from a standpoint of, this was the first real test the Buffalo Bills faced all season, right? I think you told me before the record of the teams that the Bills faced before this was 2-10 to this point. You know what I mean? So really not that great. But before we get into the video, can you just talk about just overall, like what was the feel that you got from what you saw this Bills team in this game?
Well, I felt like this was the worst possible matchup for a Buffalo Bills type team, right? And we've talked about this before. When you build your defense, really the centerpiece of your defense is your third level because you're playing 5 defensive backs, you're playing 2 undersized linebackers, and for the most part, I wouldn't say you're undersized, but you're not as big of a defensive line. And when you're playing a big physical football team that want to run downhill, that want to push you around, the Bills are obviously built to beat, Kansas City. And you got to be able to stop Patrick Mahomes. You got to be able to cover on the back end. And so whenever you play, a team like that, it's just a bad matchup. So I wouldn't really take too much from this in the sense of, they're really bad. Just like I didn't take too much from them being 3-0, knowing that they had played will probably be, like, I'll give you an example. My nephew, as you know, is touted to be possibly the first pick in the draft, Will Johnson, cornerback out of the University of Michigan. Well,
oh yeah.
Well, we looked at a pre-draft mock today. A new mock draft came out, ESPN. Guess who the top 2 teams were with the first and second pick? Jacksonville and Miami.
Wow.
Right. So that's who they're saying. They got nephew going to Miami with the second pick. My point is the 3-0 record, again, if you're looking at the predictions, they're predicting Jacksonville and Miami to be the worst teams in the league, right?
Right.
Just like, I know, Bills fans got excited because they were 3-0, and I think I said on the show, let's slow down a little bit because the tough part is coming up. And I think, Baltimore, like, that was just one of those games where you just and Baltimore got a, great scheme. We're gonna look at some stuff today that showed like they did some tough things, like really tough for Josh to pick up and for the receivers to pick up. But there was also some mistakes made by the offensive line and by the defensive backs that led to what we saw on Sunday night.
Okay. I mean, take that.
Did I lose you? No.
No, we still good. We're still good. All right. So we're gonna get to the first play here, and the first play, just to kind of set it up. One of the things that made this play stick out to me as I was looking through the video, because usually the process is I take a look at the all 22 and then I'll point some things out and send it to you, and we'll discuss it. But this one in particular, it was a little confusing because it did look like was it a levels concept or kind of it was actually three separate ends. That's why I called it a levels. You know what I'm saying? Because they had one high, one mid, and one low in break and route, right? And then on the right side of Josh, which would be the bottom side of the field here on the shot we're about to see, you have a what you call the rub route, right? Which is one receiver is kind of taking the defenders out of the way while the inside receiver breaks out underneath all of that, right?
Yeah.
And seeing that, the thought was the play looked like it was designed to go to one player. You know, and so I was extremely confused.
Yeah.
So let's get to the shot. We're gonna bring up the shot right now. And
why you pull that up? Those are typical. You know, every offense has that concept, that play concept in the playbook. You know, where you got three dig or three in routes on one side, and you got another. You got the rub concept on the other side, and it's designed to get a guy open. You know, in this situation, third and short, third and medium, where you can get the ball out quick. Hopefully, the guy can catch it and get a first down. So those concepts are pretty much standard in offenses, and you know the Bills do some of the same things.
Okay. All right, so let's see what we're talking about here. All right, there we go there. Well, and let me just make sure that's right. Okay. All right, cool. So you see that clearly?
Yeah, what we're looking at, again, you got 3x2. I think it's 3rd and 2. And you got something called that you want to do quick so that you can get the first down. What you can't see, I don't think we can see the second receiver at the bottom of the screen, but there's another guy out there. That's Shakir in the slot. And I can't remember who. I think you got 13 on the outside.
I think that might be Matt Collins. Yeah,
you got Collins on the outside. So yeah, the Ravens here, they're showing a cover 2 look, and this can be tough. And actually, so yeah, you can see different. Look at the bottom, you'll see Matt Collins, the guy he's playing with is kind of shaded inside. So that gives you an indication that there could be a man defense, right? You look at what's happening up the top of the screen. They're kind of late and showing it. So Josh is, a lot of times people, we get excited because the play clock is running down, but these quarterbacks, they're trying to give their offensive linemen and the wide receivers enough time, even themselves, enough time to really see what's happening. So they might take it all the way down as far as they can. And I think the Ravens did a great job of disguising. But the idea behind this play is to get the ball out quick. I'm pretty sure in practice, probably 9 out of 10 times it went to Shakir because he's the third down guy. He's the slot guy that they look to. But in this case, for whatever reason, Josh decided not to pull the trigger, and by that time, it was too late. So we can roll it.
Okay, so we're gonna hit play and just kind of tell us what the initial. You broke it down, but just kind of explain what we're seeing.
Right. Finally see the defense get set and what they want to do. Now they coming out. Now they finish show the true colors. So if we stop it right there, you would think that Josh can get this ball to Shakir. But what the problem is, if you look right now, and if you look at Josh, I don't know if you got the pointer. Can you put the pointer on Josh? Now put the pointer on the right tackle. Now put the pointer on Shakir. It's a straight line. Josh, right. They're taught not to throw over guys, and the Bills tackles are tall. They're like 6'4", 6'5", right? So
Spence is 6'7", 6'8", somewhere around there.
So he's not throwing over top of that. So Josh wants to go to Shakir, but the tackle's in his sight line. And this happened a couple of times tonight. So he can't make that throw. In order for Josh to make that throw, he'd have to throw it around the tackle, which will pull Shakir back away from the first down yardage. So Josh decides not to take that one. But in practice, it probably went to him 9 out of 10 times. So now he comes off that. He goes to his second read, which I think should be Kincaid. But Josh,
okay, so that's, right there.
He doesn't look at Kincaid. He goes all the way outside, right? You see it better from the wide cop. He goes all the way to the top of the screen. I think that's Scanlon. And And why he's not really, if you run it a little more, he didn't get a lot of separation. He looks more open right there. But now then he tries to come back once he sees the top guys open. He tries to come back, but by that time he got pressure in his face. He had to make a kind of a weird angle throw, and it ended up being incomplete. But this is happening so fast, and at the last minute, Baltimore came out of that cover 2 shell look and into a man free look, and it was tough to pick up, and it ended up being the drop pass, and we got to punt it.
Yeah, just another example of some of the stuff that Josh was up against in terms of, trying to need to get this out of here really quick. All right. So yeah, just in terms of trying to really figure out what he was seeing and figuring out the best way to respond to it. And I think one of the things that became very clear is they didn't quite have the horses to make moves against this defensive scheme. It was a defensive scheme that needed to be able to capitalize on a single player's ability to beat the guy across from him, basically. If the Bills had someone like that, I think this game plan that they had might have been a little bit easier, especially when they were down and being able to get points, being down 28-10.
Well, you being nice. You being nice. Right? The problem is no, what it is when you have a one-list receiving core and you got twos, average twos, maybe threes out there trying to beat, all pros, it's gonna catch up to you. And the truth of the matter is you had very little separation all night. The only time you've seen players open is when Josh scrambled, gave them 8 seconds to get open. And this play, it was indicative of that. Right, you out there doing a lot of rub. So whenever you go into a game and you got a lot of rub routes, you got a lot of pick routes set up, then that says something about what you think the ability of your receiving core can do against these defensive backs. They had they got a couple of all pros back there, and so when you got that, and this is where that what I call that decision to not go out and get you a bona fide number one. It comes back to bite you in these situations. And Josh was looking around all night, and there were some times when he had time to throw, but there were some times when he was moving off the spot a lot. But in this particular play and another play we're going to look at, you'll see that there's not a lot of separation by these wide receivers.
So I want to move to. Can you do me a favor real quick? I'm going to move to the Happy Feet set really quick, and then could you find the second one that I sent you to? We can go back to that one. After we look at this next one. I'm pretty sure it was 30.
Yeah, I got it.
What was the second one?
I think it's 30. Hold on, I think it's 30-55. Hold on, let me be sure.
30-55. Okay.
Yeah, 30-55. Yeah.
All right, so that's where we are here. Okay. All right, so this one is just more of a prime example of, Josh being in a situation where it to me, it looked like he had pretty good protection, but let's just play out, because
this is one of those plays where we're gonna see again that they had a similar concept called to the weak side of the field, to the two receiver side. Another rub situation, and they had a dig route that came open late, but we're going to see something here. I really think Baltimore did a great job in disguising this because it gave Josh one look, and you can see Josh from the tight cap. You can see him trying to figure it out. You can see him really scanning, looking 2 and 3 times. Yeah, I think he's really trying to figure out what it is. And again, it gets to the part, and you just got to go. You just got to go. So
I'm going to try to get to the tight copy real quick so we can see what you're talking about.
Yeah. So
look at that.
Now he's going to look again. He's going to look again. Looking again, trying to see what's going on. He's trying to see when he leaned back like that. What he was trying to see was what was the alignment of the defensive back, because that a lot of times that dictates or tells you whether or not it's a man situation. And so he's trying to see what's going on. And then he finally got to snap it. But by this time, see, he looks unsure. what we call happy feet, that bounce movement, and because he's not sure like what's happening, what's going on. And what Baltimore did was, again, they showed that two shell look, and they rolled at the last minute into a tight man free look. And you got the rub concept down here at the bottom with Kincaid and 13 again. Again, go back to what Josh was. He looked like he's getting ready to throw it. I'll tell you when to pause it. There, he's trying to see. Lean back, he's trying to see what's the alignment. He's trying to see it. And pause it. He wanted Kincaid. He came off him already. But again, put the cursor on Josh. Put the cursor on.
Oh yeah, look at that.
It's again
straight line, right?
Straight line. He's in the sight line. He's already come off him. He's in the sight line because he can't make that throw again, because he'll have to throw around him. He'd have to throw it to the 40-yard line, and that's going to pull him further away, because I think it's 3rd and 3 at this point, right? And again, it's going to pull him back away from the first down. And 14 is the all pro. He's going to make the tackle, and you're going to miss the first down. Now, here's what I like what Baltimore did. Look, they showed a two shell look, right? They roll into a tight man free, and they got a spy right there in the middle on Josh, and that's all pro linebacker right there. Josh finally sees this, and they got a nice push in the pocket, so they in his face. And look at, I mean, you don't have a lot of separation. Scanlon comes open at the top on the square end late, but guys are covered, man. Guys are covered. Like, guys are covered.
Yeah.
And you got to be able to get separation in these situations. And I think he wanted to go to Kincaid originally, but again, the left tackle's in his throwing lane when he's getting ready to throw, so that's out. Then he comes back to the middle, and he tries to get it to secure, but this great coverage, great play. Lucky, very fortunate, didn't get intercepted.
Yeah, or tipped up in the air, because there's 3 defenders within enough distance to get to it too. Yep. I mean,
but again, it speaks to like playing that quarterback position, and the Bills fans are fortunate that they have a guy like Josh, but this is tough. Like, watch at the last. So what's key to it? Let it roll a little bit and stop. So pause it. So what you look at, the cornerbacks are showing a zone because they're lined up outside. That's why Josh leaned back to try to see where's the corner. What's his alignment? Well, he's lined up outside. That normally says they're in the zone. When you're playing man, you line up inside. 14, the slot guys are head up, so you can't really get a read off of them. They could be zone or man. The corners are outside technique. That normally says zone. You got both safeties even. One's not cheated up. They're even on the hash. This is a great job by the Ravens. That's what makes it tough for Josh. So he's looking at this. Safeties are even, so you don't know who's coming down. They both on the hash. You get the corners outside leverage, so they might be zone. So he's trying to wait to the last minute for them to get him some kind of read or key, but he couldn't. He had to snap the ball, and they ended up being the tight man coverage, and he had nowhere to go with the ball. But all this,
I mean, that says it all. That picture says it all right there. So what about James Cook here?
That was the only one that I thought that was a decent matchup, but by the time he comes out of his break, Josh is already throwing the ball.
Yeah, he wasn't even looking. I mean, what was getting me the entire time is, as soon as this ball is snapped, it just look his feet. Like, can you explain the bouncing? Because that to me was like, I called it happy feet. Like, usually when he's confident in a play, he knows where he's going. You can almost see him just sit there flat foot, and that ball goes exactly where it needs to go.
Well, a lot of times, one of the techniques that they use is, they want you to bounce, but it's a lot of times it's in place because you're able to sit down and then make a throw. Well, in this case, because you got the rush, I mean, they were doing a pretty good job of pushing the offensive lineman back into Josh's face. So he's bouncing backwards. So he's bouncing, ready to make a throw. And I want to show you something with what happened with the right guard in the center here. Here's where the miscommunication and or lack of communication comes into play. If you can go to the tight copy, and you'll see they just watch what the 64 and 66 do here with the tackle, and that's what ended up. Josh can feel this. right? He can feel this. They double teamed, and both of them just decide to, I don't want to let him go. We're just gonna let him go. I don't know what happened here.
Whoa, whoa.
Go, right?
What was that?
So that's just a miscommunication between those two, right? Somebody got to say, I got him, right? And so that's what Josh was feeling that, and now it's over with. He got to get rid of it, right? So when you have a breakdown like that on offensive line, you have wide receivers not getting open, and you got the defense showing late, like you end up with plays like this, and this was happening for the most of the night.
So
I don't know why.
Based on what we're seeing, who should have taken 98?
You would think it would be 64 because he was more shaded over 64, but I don't know why. I don't know why the center would come off for this. Again, I believe both of them felt, he got him, I got him, or he got him. 66 says 64 got him. 64 says 66 got him. They just kind of let him go, right? 60, the center would be free on this, so he's free to roam more than likely. But they had a miscommunication and end up letting the guy run free, and Josh got to get rid of the ball.
Yeah. One of the things that McGovern said after the game is he did not get all the calls out to the guys that he needed to. So I mean, he did take some responsibility for it, but I mean, answering
your question right now, I would definitely think 66. I mean, 64 should have taken him and kept him just because what happened at the snap, the tackle went directly at 64. And so 66 is free, but why they just both let him go, just miscommunication.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, the last play we had, do we have time for that?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, cool. Can you tell me what time it was?
That is 23:32.
All right, 23:32 of y'all 22. And bam, there we are. All right. So what do we have here?
Well, we have the touchdown play to the running back. Where you're gonna see what I think is a mistake by the cornerback, and you're gonna see a pressureless pocket that gave that was the opposite of what Josh had for the most of the night. That gave a guy like Lamar Jackson a freedom and a peace and an ease to make a throw.
You have to make it sound so serene like that, man.
He could have took a nap back there. Looked like he was set out. But we're looking at it. So we got a 3-by-1 here. I mean a 3-by-2 with the wide receiver in the back. And this had to be something they saw in film that they wanted to isolate Hill on the linebackers. But I think the Bills are in pretty good shape if 31, what I think was a blown coverage, right? You look at they're in a quarters coverage, which means that the corners, the third level, all of them have a quarter of the field. So the cornerback would have from the 10-yard line to the sideline. The safety will have from the 10-yard line, from the numbers to the sideline. The safety would have from the top of the numbers to the hash. The middle to the middle of the field, I should say. The opposite safety would have from the middle of the field to the top of the numbers, and the other corner would have from the bottom of the numbers to the sideline. Well, that's the quarters coverage.
Okay.
It's either that or they're playing zone to the strong side, man to the weak side. But I doubt that.
Why do you doubt that?
Based on how the closest has safety player, I can't think of his name right now. The rookie.
Cole Bishop.
The way he played it would tell you that this should have been a quarters coverage, right? Pause it. So right now, Cole Bishop would take the post route, the in route, right? And the corner 31 would stay on Douglas would stay on this side of the numbers, right? On this side of the numbers. And that didn't happen. Douglas ran with the post route, Cole Bishop kind of played his area and left the linebacker one-on-one with the running back, and this is what you end up with. Now, here's why I think I don't know if we'd be able to see it, but if you go back to the beginning, you watch Cole Bishop give Douglas a sign, and there it was. What you see what he did? See how he rubbed his hands together?
Yeah.
That is a pass it on, like pass it on sign, like that's like a pass him off to me, right?
Got you. Okay.
And so that's why I think it was a quarters coverage, and if the guy goes inside, he was supposed to take him. Douglas was supposed to stay outside, and the running back would have ran right to him.
It doesn't look like Douglas noticed it. Like, if you go, I'm gonna see if I can get back here.
Glance back there real quick. It was a quick glance when he gave it to him.
Okay, so.
And the other thing is, Douglas is head up to outside. He's head up and then he bailed outside. See, that's another thing why I think it was supposed to be zone coverage. But I'm not sure because he lined up outside, head up, then he bailed outside, which normally says zone. I'm willing to bet he wasn't supposed to take that guy.
Yeah, I mean, just the way that he sat outside the entire time and maintained leverage outside, I think you're right. It would have to be zone.
Look at that pocket.
You're right.
That pocket.
Right.
Like, that's like picking cherries right there. That's like, man, I'm just out here chilling. Like, that's really the key to it. Is like when you got a clean pocket like that, and I mean, he doesn't feel like he's being pressured at all. And that's the last thing you want with a guy like Lamar Jackson. You want him to feel the pressure because he's going to make throws that, that's easily picked off. But this
for Dorian Williams here, do you think maybe he saw something in film that made him think Hill was trying to cut outside? Because the way he sat on that route was like he didn't think that Hill would go past him. Or did Hill have an option route? Was it something where on go ahead?
Yeah, he probably had an option route, but I think Dorian thought he had help over the top. So he could sit on he could sit on everything because he got help over the top. So he could sit on anything short.
Wow.
But when you like that, those are all indicators. Like, we don't know because we don't know the play call, but these are all indicators I'm picking up on that normally says, okay, Dorian, anything short underneath, I'm on that because I got help over the top. And then when you look up and ain't nobody there, it's like, oh my goodness, it's over with.
That is what he's looking like right there.
Like, where's my help at? Like, where's my help? Right?
Yeah.
One of the obvious things that you can look at when a player's wrong, they just kind of start looking around like, man, was that on me? I really think Douglas that route. If you watch Douglas, he kind of turn and look, it's like, oh, then he just kind of look around like, oh man, I messed up.
Yeah, he did. That's exactly what he did. Wow.
So, I mean, this was again, another indication of just when you're not on the same page, things out of sync. By this time, the game was kind of like, you could tell it was going to be one of those nights, and the negative momentum and energy just you begin to have more plays like this, But something I think one of the biggest things we see here is that the pocket is so clean. I mean, it's not a guy within 5 yards. It's not a guy within 5 yards.
That's very surprising because what we're seeing now is this is supposed to be a situation the Buffalo Bills want every single time, which is Oliver one-on-one with anybody. Right? This matchup right here in the middle, Ed Oliver one-on-one with anybody, is supposed to be a deadly matchup for the Buffalo Bills.
Well, that tells you a lot about what Baltimore thinks about Ed Oliver because they double team.
Right. They double team Carter, the rookie.
Yeah, they double team those two, and they left the center over to be that'd be the guard one-on-one.
I mean, that's borderline disrespect.
Well, that's borderline. We got you. We ain't worried.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you're right. It almost doesn't matter at that point. But Man, that is.
I think those 3 plays really, summarizes the game and how the game went. When you got a couple of breakdowns on the offensive line, you got a couple of breakdowns in the secondary. When you have those things happen like that, the outcome of the game is going to be what it was, right? Outside of this just being a bad matchup, I like the matchup this week better than I did last week. I still think it's going to be tough to go up in Houston and get a win. But they're going to be highly motivated. Number one, going to be highly motivated. He's going to be talking trash all week. He getting his boys fired up. And Houston got a pretty decent secondary, right? They got Sting.
Yes, they do.
And they got boys who can cover. And I think if I'm not sure defensively, they might be able to mimic what the Ravens did. They may be able to mimic what they did. I don't think they got is Watt playing? Who they got a pass rush, right?
They got 2 pass rushers. They got Anderson Jr., the second year defensive end, or he's the outside linebacker, and then they got Daniil Hunter. Both of those guys can rush the passer.
Yeah, I think if they can do that, I know they can cover. I know they can cover a little bit on the back end.
Their linebackers are probably going to be the biggest weakness, hitting the seams and getting those linebackers to bite. You know what I mean?
I think
that to me seems like the best way.
Yeah, the key all year for the Bills is going to be how they wide receivers match up with the other team secondary.
Really quick, what are your thoughts on the usage of Curtis Samuel and the usage of Kincaid to this point? Do you think that it is a ramping up process? I mean, why haven't we seen Kincaid get a lot of the action that everybody thought he would?
I would attribute that more to the scheme, right? Remember, everybody eats,
right?
Everybody eat mentality, and I don't think there's no one that's been designated as the guy we want to really get the ball to. Josh, find a guy that's open to get it to him. I think that's what's attributing to the lack of targets for both Samuel and Kincaid. It's a way of running an offense that, man, I think it makes it tough because you want to get the ball to certain guys. You want to get the ball to the guys who you have the most confidence in, who you think can make plays. But when you have a scheme that's basically, get the ball to whoever, whatever, we're going to take whatever the defense give us and we can get the ball to whoever wanted. And, I'm always listening. I mean, as a former wide receiver, like I'm always skeptical when you got guys that's okay with not getting the ball. Like, what's the problem? That's a problem.
Right.
Like for Josh to be able to say guys don't care, like that's a problem. Like that's really a problem. Like guys who really want the ball, they want the ball because they know they can do something with it. Like that's a problem. I know we look at that.
So, if we look at that, what?
We look at that as if it's a good thing for Josh. He don't have number one on this. Number one. He wasn't number one when he was here, but he don't have what's his name?
Diggs.
You don't have Diggs. Talking to him on the sideline, but man, you listen as a quarterback, you want guys that like, man, I want that they on the borderline and say, man, give me the ball. Like, give me the ball. I don't know. Right. I don't get the feeling from many of these guys that if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. Like that'll come back to bite you. And again, right. I know they want it, but it's the mentality to be willing to say, yo, man, I need the ball. Like I need to rock. Like, I don't know Samuel to be that kind of guy. I know he's thinking it internally. He might talk to you and me. He might talk about it at the house. But, I'm sure when they brought him here under that notion that, hey, look, this is the type of receiving core we're going to have. We want to put in an offense that's going to spread the ball out. Everybody's going to eat. Everybody's going to get their touches. But I'm a firm believer you got to have a guy, man. You got to have a guy. You got to have a guy. You got to have a guy. Right. And hopefully, it don't play out the way it played out the rest of the season, but you got to have a guy, man, that's like, man, give me the ball. Like, you got to have a guy. And you might not want a guy to the extreme of Diggs, right? But you want a guy that's going to be, that'll come to Josh and say, hey, Josh, man, give me that rock, man. I'm going to make plays for you. And I don't know if you have that right now. And you see it. You see it. You got guys needing 5, 6 seconds. Josh got to be Superman, about to run out of bounds, throwing the ball.
70 yards down the field.
Like you got to do that in order for these guys to get open. And it's just, and no, these guys are good. Don't get me wrong. These guys are pros. But when you play at that level, there's a small margin for error, and you got to be elite. And you got to be ready to go up against some of these elite guys, and they just didn't get it done this past game.
Have you, like, who comes to mind when you think of a number one receiver that is at that elite level, that Diggs level, that Malik Neighbors level, that, you know what I mean, like Devontae Adams level, that doesn't have an element of what this fan base would consider diva?
No, you don't have it.
That was my thought too. I just wanted to ask to confirm, because
the only person that you never really heard about him being an extreme diva that I would call it. You need some extreme divas, right?
Okay.
Would be Mike Evans, right? But Mike Evans get the ball, so he don't have to go. He don't have to go diva, because they're gonna get him the ball, right? He's the only receiver to have a 100 receiving
1,000 yards every season.
So they
10 seasons in a row.
Right, they're getting him the ball, but you've never heard of Mike Evans being this, over the top diva, give me the ball type guy, because they get him the ball. Well, that's rare. Like part of being a number one guy and being that guy, there's a level of confidence that you have. There's a level of desire that you have to want to make plays, because I know I can make plays to help the team win, right?
Yeah.
And when that doesn't happen, you're going to get these guys getting their emotions and getting their feelings and feel like, man, we're doing the team a disservice. And to some degree, they have a point, but, you don't want to become a disruption to the offense and get inside of the mind of the quarterback and make him second guess whether or not he should be throwing to this guy, throwing to you over, so all that can be problematic as well. But for the most part, I think it's gonna be a tough ride. If the scheme doesn't allow for players to get open and they have to depend on their own, ability and skill more times than not, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah. All right. Well, like you said, we just got to strap in and get ready for the rest of this ride, because, if this is any indication of what it's like to play contenders,
it's going to be tough. But I do think the running game was well. I think Cook's averaged over 4 yards carry.
Yeah, he did.
But the nature of the game, you got behind. And
he only rushed the ball 9 times.
Yeah, and the biggest issue is, schematically, defensively, they built to stop the pass. And when you got a team who can run the ball downhill, and I feel sorry for my boy 42 in there a couple of times, man, getting pushed around. Down on the goal line, they were smacking him, man. They were smacking him. I feel bad, but he wanted to, but man, you can't run up in there 140 pounds trying to take on the big old lineman, man. I mean,
not at all.
Man, he get pushed around down on the goal line. It's all like, oh man, it's gonna be rough. But that's what we got. We gotta deal with it.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen. Thank you for coming on and doing this show yet again. I'm gonna thank you every week for doing this. I love going through this film study. I love the analysis. I love the behind the scenes look into what's really going on down there on the field, because it's tough to get that. And if you're not on the team, you wouldn't know any of the stuff that we're hearing right now. So
that's the game. That's the game. At this level, everybody's athletic. Everybody can run. Everybody can play. You got your different level, minor levels in that. But the game is played between the ears. Like, that's where the game is won and lost, right?
Yep.
Both sides of the ball. That's where the game is won and lost. And if we can help the fans get inside of the mind of the players, if we can help our post-podium family understand the game better, so that when they're watching it, they're seeing what's happening, they're understanding what's happening. That's what it's all about. Because now you can enjoy the game at a different degree.
Yep.
Right? You can enjoy the game at a different degree.
Yep, and that is exactly what we're here to bring. So I want to thank everybody that tuned into this episode. What I need y'all to do for me right now is I need you to hit that like and subscribe button and also hit that notification bell. Make that thing ring-a-ling-a-ling so that you can get notifications like when this episode is going to drop. All right. So with that being said, I think Thursdays are probably looking like they might be the new drop day. That sound about good?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Okay. All right. Perfect. So, we're good. We now moved the release day to Thursdays. It just kind of works better for everybody's schedule. Gives us some time to kind of digest more of the video and do some more in depth things. Right. And again, we're still playing around with some of the settings. If there's a particular view that you like us doing it live, you like it recorded, however you like it. Why don't you let us know, right? All the social media links are going to be in the description of this video, so you can hop on anywhere that you like to hop on to, get in contact with us and let us know what your thoughts are. Also, let us know what you want to see in the next film review. Okay, we're going to be covering the Texans. It should be a really, really good game, and hopefully it's going to be a lot better than this one was. But other than that, that's all I got to say. Pop, you got anything else before we get out of here?
I'm good. I appreciate it. I love talking about it. Love giving the fans a view of the inside and what's happening on these plays so they can, again, have a better experience. And hopefully you got a bit different outcome this coming Sunday.
No doubt. No doubt. All right. This has been another episode of Coach D's Corner, part of the Post Podium podcast series. I've been your co-host, Aramis. And I'm going to speak for Coach D because he seems to have frozen. No, it's all right. All right. Y'all have a good night.